Now he gets married. His best friend can't be a girl any longer. Okay, so tell me how that, because there's a lot of people that are married, but like the wife is like, oh, but my best friend is my next door neighbor. So can you talk to that?
Yeah, so this was a bonus question. As you can see, it is not in your handout. And this is one that we literally just came up with, if we're being honest, like an hour ago. We were like, you know what? This is totally different. That's a totally different question than we've really dealt with all day. But it can be a real question, and people generally ask this question. Can Christians can have genuine friends of the opposite sex? And how do you navigate through that, right? And so
Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We're going to talk about this subject. Listen, you already know I discussed this subject before, and I said this. My personal opinion, straight from this joint, without watching it, it's actually a blind reaction. I haven't watched this. Is that, you know what? Everyone's got to keep good boundaries. That's simply it. I'm never going to tell my missus you can't be friends with a man unless I've seen something wild from him. But then, other than that, like, go about even have a male friend. Like, do you know what I mean? Now, are there going to be constraints on how that relationship looks like? Yeah, of course. Like, and same for me. You know what I mean? Don't call me past certain hours. Not going to dinner with that person. Do you know what I mean? Like, not sneakily, like things like that. Do you know what I mean? Like, your friendship where you had previously. Like I said, I've never. If you're my genuine, deepest, longest female friend, like, yo, I don't do things to you. Do you know what I mean? I don't try to do any flirting or anything like. I don't do them kind of things. We vibe, we talk. You're a person who's a confidant to me, and that's it. You understand? So if I'm gonna say that person's my friend, a female friend to me, and I'm in a relationship, trust me, nothing's gone down with that person. Other than that, that person's not necessarily a female friend. That person's a good people to be around. They help me out. They've probably seen me through some trying times and stuff like that. But it can't be a friendship when I'm in a relationship because of things that have maybe happened between the two of us or whatever. Or let's say, like, maybe I like you and I have to be honest with myself. I think you're attractive. Then that's complete. You know what I mean? Like, do you see what I'm saying? And But if you're new here, make sure you do me a favor, like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated. All right, let's get into it.
So I thought of several questions. I'm not going to answer that question and say yes or no, but I will give you some guiding questions that I would encourage any spouse to ask themselves if they're trying to figure out whether or not this particular person should or should not be a friend and they are of the opposite sex. The first one is my spouse comfortable with this friend, right? If my wife is not comfortable with a friend, she has a reason to, right? And assuming that she's not like this overbearing, insecure, jealous person, she's a normal, rationally minded, sane person, which she is. If she has a problem with someone, then that's it, case closed. My allegiance is to.
And this is a very true point. I love this point that he's made here. Like, I don't play with them things. If you don't like somebody, yeah, I'm not going to hang around with them. Yeah, because once we're in a marriage, I've got to protect our ministry first, the home. Now, sufficing, like he said, sufficing you're not crazy with it. Sufficing I know that you're sensible with it. That's why we shouldn't be marrying people that are insecure. I've not got time to heal you because I have to trust that when you say something, it's not from an insecure place, then yeah, cool. Like, do you know what I mean? By all means. By all means, let it go. You know what I mean? Like, trust that person. But all right, I'm not going to be friends with that person because, I'm not going to be as close in the relationship as like I was beforehand. There's got to be now boundaries put into place. Yeah.
To my wife first and foremost, way more than it is some childhood friend or somebody I had in college or something that was a friend of mine. So if my spouse is not comfortable with this person, I'm not going to ask too many more questions. That's it. The second thing I would say is, are they aware and comfortable with your interaction with this person? So let's say they're comfortable with you having this friend, but are they aware of how much you're interacting with them? And are they comfortable with it? Are they aware that you all text all day long, right? Are they aware that you all talk on the phone for hours and hours a week? Are they?
And I'll be honest with you, listen, me, my female best friend, listen, we can talk, we don't talk every day, but when we do talk, we can talk for 3 hours. You know what I mean? You're catching up on so many different things. You're advising each other on so many different things. You're trying to help each other. Now, when you get married, it's not going to be possible to even do those kind of calls for 3 hours. But there will be times where maybe you might do an hour or so. And that's, again, I wouldn't have a problem with that. If my partner also, too, has a friend that they let to chop up for an hour, go and do it. Remember, you have to have a life outside of me. There has to be. Otherwise, you get isolated and it becomes a very dark place. I cannot be your everything, right? So if you know your male best friend, I'm gonna trust. If I say I trust that person, and you want to go on a phone call for an hour or two, go on, like do it. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing my thing, you're doing your thing. Do you know what I mean? Like it is what it is. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but like he's saying, like, are they aware of this? This is completely different. If they're unaware, and then that means they can't make a really a sensible judgment in terms of whether they're comfortable with the terms of relationship that you guys have. You know, you're kind of robbing them an opportunity to.
They aware of that? Are they aware that a couple times a week you're at work and you all work together and you all just grab lunch because you're both at work and you just typically go down to the cafeteria and you eat lunch together? Is your spouse aware of this? And if they're aware, are they comfortable with it? Another one was, is this someone used to be involved?
If they're at work, they better be comfortable, because fam, we're gonna see each other every day, and you're gonna have to sit on the table with somebody. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, so long as you're not being disrespectful in that moment, like, you should be cool. Like, if they work with that person, it's gonna be very, very hard to now remove that person from the situation. So, you know, make sure your interaction, if you're the other person on the side, make sure your interaction is clean. None of this bull crap. Like, do you know what I mean? Make sure your interaction is clean. Don't be doing anything stupid. Like I'm sure, and you know this because it's your friendship. If you do something stupid now, probably you've done something stupid in the past. But you know, the interaction's got to be clean in terms of the fact that you know that there's no like sinister plot or alternate motive. If you're going going lunch period of time, you grab lunch because you're at workplace, whether you grab lunch. And most people's now, like, if you work in a building, your lunch is in the same business a building. So you're probably going to go downstairs and grab lunch, unless you're going to go outside. But even then, most times it's going to be inside. You're going to grab lunch at the same place. You're going to sit at the same table. I used to work with colleagues, and it wasn't just me and another person. Most times it was, I mean, unless people came and sit down with me, because I like to isolate myself and do my own things. I was watching stuff. But most times you sit with a few other colleagues as well. So, yeah, it's all about being transparent, as he's saying again. Are you letting your partner know?
Involved with? I mean, that's an obvious one right there, right? I mean, if this is somebody that used to be physically involved with or emotionally or romantically involved, then I would say that's probably not somebody that you want to be, friend with, because that could create some confusion in your marriage potentially. Another one is, are you affirming your relationship with your spouse in your communication or in your interaction with this opposite sex, or do you find yourself kind of shrinking back? Are you quick to say, oh, yeah, my wife and I, we went to Mexico, or hey, my wife and I do this, or yeah, my wife and I did a Bible study, or my wife and I, right? That's safe. That's what should be happening. But if there's something in your mind where you're like, I don't know if I really want to talk about, because there's something going on in your relationship that maybe you're not, you're not comfortable affirming your relationship with this person, that could send a message that, maybe some things aren't right.
Yep.
Are you confiding in this person things that your spouse would be uncomfortable with?
Ooh,
are you sharing things with them that, quite frankly, if your spouse knew that you were telling them these things, they would be like, well, why are you telling us private things about our relationship? And by the way, that can be very dangerous, because if that other person is also married and they're disgruntled, and you're married and you're disgruntled, and now you have two people who are married and disgruntled, and they're sharing their feelings with one another about how they're disgruntled, that can open up the door for temptation, because it's like, oh, this person gets me, they understand me, things like that. Are you confiding in this person things that you should be telling your spouse? So that is a huge one.
Hey, that one, I read that in a book, and it's called spiritual adultery. Oh no, that was emotional adultery, in a sense, where you are telling someone else telling someone else outside of your relationship them things first before you tell your partner. Don't do that. That's a dangerous precedent to set up. You're asking for a big thing to like. You're basically saying that your partner isn't your immediate go-to. The outside people are immediate go-to. I think someone else said this as well. Like, if you haven't spoke to your partner about it, don't go and speak outside yet, because you need to actually hear their perspective to get their understanding of what they've been through before you actually go and say it. So again, I hear that 100%.
Right? Because you should be actively working towards developing intimacy with your spouse. But I don't know if you're a man like me, we only have so many words per day. Right? There's only so many words that I have available to me per day. So if I use up half of those with some girl that I'm talking to or texting, I don't have much left to give to my wife, right? That's why online dating never really worked well for me, because you have like 5 people you're trying to communicate with, and like after like the third or fourth one, you're like, I don't even know, I don't have energy to even talk to this one, right? So it's like, okay, I should be making sure that the more I'm talking to this other person, the less likely I'm going to probably want to talk to my spouse, my wife. Are there problems in my own marriage that might make me more susceptible to temptation? Right? I have to be sensitive of that. Is there something going on in my relationship with my spouse that I know is going to make me more prone and more tempted to have this side connection? And then a couple more. How would this look from people on the outside? People know I'm married. People know I'm a minister. People know these things about me. They know you're married as well. But what is it going to look like if they continually see you at lunch, joking, having a good time with somebody who's very attractive, who's of the opposite sex? How's that going to look when they know you're a Christian? And it's not your husband or your cousin. It's not your sister. This is somebody else, right?
So I think, and just to add an extra on that, so that it doesn't become literal. I think you got to obviously as well take that into consideration, right? So I think it's better to say, have I told my wife or my husband that I am at lunch with this young person, and if they're pretty, right? Again, that first of all, that's subjective, and number two, if they're pretty, again, I think you've got to be really honest with yourself. Are you drawn in and attracted to that person, or is this really just the fact that, you know what, I'm genuinely just cool with her? You have to really ask yourself that real question so that you can answer it to your partner too. Because if your partner sees it and goes, they're really, really pretty, and then first of all, it might not even be their type, so it might not even be a case, but still, it's good common courtesy and safe bet to ask your partner, hey babe, I'm going to go out with my friend XYZ. And also as well, surely you'd have integrated that friendship. If they really are a true friend, integrate that friendship in with your partner so they know who that person is, and they know who they're interacting with. You know what I'm saying?
And also finally, do you have healthy boundaries set up with this person, right? Are you flirting? Is there too much communication? Things like that. Do you find yourself imagining this person? Do you find yourself missing this person whenever you're not around them? Are you beginning to feel some sort of attachment with this person? Do you start looking forward to the next time you're starting to be around? All of these are things you really got to pay attention to. Oh, I can't wait to see this person. I can't wait to because that means your heart is slowly being aligned towards somebody other than your spouse.
A woman who's got a low body count.
Oh, sorry about that, guys.
Okay.
That's actual bars. I can't lie to you. That last one where he said, are you starting to feel like you're enjoying talking to that person? You look forward to talking to that person? And nobody's saying you can't look forward to talking to your friend, right? But you know the difference between, I need to talk to my friend now, I've been a little while, to, you know what, I'm feeling the person and I can't wait to speak to them because I'm excited. You know the feeling. You remember the first time you felt that with even your own wife or own husband. You know the feeling. So we can't pretend as if that's the same feeling as, I'm excited to see my friend. You know what it is. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate it. This video was cool. I actually liked it. I liked the way they were going about it. What's your thoughts on this? Do you disagree? Do you agree, guys? Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think. Appreciate it, guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. Make sure you like,